Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to L Does Boxing. We back with another one. We got a quick recap of yesterday's fights that we're going to touch on. You know what I'm saying? We're going to cover the whole thing, all the cards from yesterday. There are a couple of news and notes, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna talk on as well. Before I get into it, I want to salute everybody coming through the building. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? You can tap in my social media, scroll across the bottom, the website, all that good stuff. Feel free to drop any questions, comments, all that good shit, man. Y'all know how we get down. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into it, though. My man, Creole's a traveler in the building. What's good with you, bro? Salute. JC in the building. What's good with you, bro? Salute to you. What's good? So we got some topics, man. We're going to go down the list, man, cover these fights. First off, we're going to start off with the Usyk card. Usyk versus Dubois. Listen, a lot of these fights you couldn't even watch them really. You know what I'm saying? I got the results on a lot of them though. The main ones that I was worried about was Fedor Shakazian. He faced Ngannou. Ngannou was a Olympian in 2016. He actually got the victory. You know what I'm saying? Shakazian was like a contender / prospect on the PBC side. He was able to take this fight on the Usyk card because he's Polish and Ukrainian, so it kind of makes sense. But he came up short. It's an upset victory, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Then another one was Hamza Shiraz. He's the WBC silver champion at 160. He had a second round knockout over his opponent. I mean, easy money. Shiraz is like 6'3", punching with both hands. You know what I'm saying? He's a good puncher. Solid, you know what I'm saying? He's still growing. He's a young fighter, but he put on a great performance yesterday. Up next for him, maybe Denzel Bentley. That's a good fight over there. I think guys like Denzel Bentley or Liam Williams, domestic middleweight fights would be cool for him. Denis Beranchyk, the lightweight contender, he's like number 3 in the WBO. He had a good victory over Anthony Yedja. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Yedja is kind of like a gatekeeper now. We seen him lose to Keyshawn earlier this year. But Beranchyk put himself in position to fight for a world title. If the WBO becomes vacant, you know what I'm saying? If Devin Haney vacates in the near future, then he'll probably be fighting for that shit. Because he been ranked in the WBO for a minute and haven't got a world title shot. You know what I'm saying? And then to the main event. So we're going to speak on. My man asked me, is it a low blow? Yeah, it was a low blow, for sure. It was a low blow. Usyk and Dubois. I mean, the fight kind of went like I thought it was. I didn't really think Dubois was going to, far as like, other than the 5th round with that shot, it was basically what I thought. I thought Usyk's jab was going to, control the fight, his in and out movement. I didn't think Dubois was fast enough, and I didn't think he was committed to the counter punching, to counter punch Usyk, to step in there with him to do that. But he was having some decent moments. Nothing that I didn't think he won the round, honestly. Even the 5th round, I didn't give it to him. I'm just being honest, because if you watch after the 5th, after Usyk got up after the blow, he ain't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. But it didn't really make no difference. But with the low blow, I felt like it was low because, it was below the navel. You know what I'm saying? It was on the borderline. You could have called it either way, honestly. You could have, but it was low. You know what I'm saying? You can even see like part of Usyk's trunks kind of moved up. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like at the bottom of his shorts. You can actually see that. So I thought it was low. You know what I'm saying? It was a good shot though. It was a good shot. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I mean, you move on. Now the thing is with Pavon, the what's his name, Luis Pavon. Now, if y'all pay attention, he did one of Usyk and AJ fights. I think the second fight, the last fight they had, and AJ hit him with a low blow, and he was quick to stop the fight. Was quick to call it a low blow and all that shit. And we know that's the kryptonite of Usyk. So that's something future opponents can key on. You know what I'm saying? Especially when he turned it, because he threw that body shot perfectly. He caught him off guard when they was like kind of spinning. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a low blow. But Usyk dominated the fight. You know what I'm saying? He dropped him in the 8th. And then the ninth, he stopped him with a jab. So this is my take on all of this, right? If you're gonna protest, this is what I would have did. I'm just saying, me, and what makes more sense because everything can always be hindsight 2020. But now it look hindsight 2040 to me because if you think about it, during that whole period when Usyk was on the ground recovering and taking his sweet time and all that good shit, it was like 4 minutes and passed. Yo, why didn't team Dubois, Frank Warren, all those guys, why they didn't make a bigger deal about the protest? I would have protested then and there. Before the fight resumed, I've been like, listen, I would have made it known. Make it known, bro. We protesting. Get it out there so everybody understand that we protesting. Whatever happens after this, we protesting the fight. I don't care what y'all talking about. Why we wait to the end of the fight? You know what I'm saying? You could have made a fuss about it. Now maybe they did. I wasn't there. I ain't see it. I ain't sitting up behind the scenes. But I would say make a big fuss. Shit. Hop on the ring apron. Call a referee over there. Bro, get the commissions. You had all the sanction bodies there. You know what I'm saying? Get with the WBA. Hey, bro. Hey, we protesting this shit. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. Win, lose, or draw. That way, it won't look like, oh, well, since he got knocked out, we're going to protest. And here's another thing. Damn, Dubois quit again. Let's be honest. He sat there on his knee until you know what I'm saying, to my man counting him out, and then gets up at 9.5. Like, my thing is, listen, if you sitting on your knee, then you like it's hard for me to believe that you would sit on your knee to 9.5, and then after the fight say you was robbed of a knockout. Now it makes sense, but make a big fuss right then and there. You know what I'm saying? Don't make a big fuss after the fact. Now the narrative is, oh, now we're talking about a low blow. That shit was low. It was borderline, but it was low. It was right on the belt. It was low to me. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a good shot though. You know what I'm saying? What he do after that though? Did he take advantage of that? The bigger, stronger, younger guy? Nope. Because I thought he still lost the rest of that round. That shit happened early in the round, like 30 seconds in the round of the 5th round. That's why I gave it to Usyk. Usyk dominated the rest of that round. But it is what it is. There's nothing you can do right now. and it's funny because the majority of the people calling it a low blow are like the UK fans and pundits and guys over there. But before the fight, you know what I'm saying, what I thought was the real low blow, they wasn't giving Usyk Dubois a chance to beat Usyk. You know what I'm saying? They barely even supported him. You know what I'm saying? So now they all up in arms. Nah, bro. Miss me with that. That shit was a low blow. You know what I'm saying? I say it was borderline low blow. Yeah, it was right on the belt. You know what I'm saying? The navel is the line. Anything below the navel is supposed to be a low blow. Why the boy trying to box? You know what I'm saying? I thought he was gonna go in there and let it all hang out. Dude wears his trunks high, doesn't he? I mean, I don't know if it was particularly high to me. I didn't think it was like particularly high. I mean, even the shot, you know, if you look at it, he kind of grazed the bottom of his trunks because you can see Usyk's like what he had, like maybe I don't know if he had on tights or whatever. You can see that if that shit creeps up, go look at it again. If it creeps up, that's a low blow. That's a low blow to me, but I don't know. It was on the belt line. It was a good shot though. I ain't gonna lie. And it was like away from the referee. Ron Boy Fresh, what's good with you, bro? Salute to you. He said, yeah, Usyk Fury is the fight. Nah, it's not the fight, bro. He said, nope. He said, what's good with you, bro? Just do boxing in the building. What's good with you? Nah, Usyk and Fury is not the fight yet. And that's what I want to get to next. What's next for Usyk? Yo, he got IBF mandatory. I mean, I've been saying this shit for a while, yo. I've been trying to tell people behind the scenes and let people know it's Hrgovic versus Usyk next. The IBF is about to order that shit. I'm trying to let people know right now. If you haven't heard it before this, then here you go. So this is the background of this shit. Last year, like November, they ordered Usyk versus Hrgovic. I remember I was in Vegas at one of them fights. I think it was Sanisa's fight. I was sitting there on my phone. I seen that shit. I'm like, oh, they ordered this shit. that was the time when we was trying to get the undisputed fight. You know, those guys kept going back and forth and negotiations and all that bullshit, right? So I'm thinking, okay, I don't understand why they even doing this. But then Dubois, he had won his fight like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after that against Kevin Larinian. So they pushed for that shit. And I guess the sanction bodies kind of determined who was going to go first, and it was Dubois. He was a WBA regular champion, right? So he got the opportunity. So with them switching that like that, the IBF is next. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their leathers. This is what they don't tell you guys. You know what I'm saying? This is how they tease the fans. They got their leather like the beginning of August. You know what I'm saying? Each team got their leather. Usyk and his manager, his team, his promoter. Hrgovic, his team, his manager, and his promoter. If y'all pay attention to the moves and the play, how they do shit, they had Hrgovic fight August the 12th versus Southpaw. You know what I'm saying? It's not many Southpaws in the heavyweight division like that anyway. You know what I'm saying? Hrgovic, he fought Dempsey McKean, stopped him in the 12th round. That's probably the closest you're going to get to some Southpaw work, some good Southpaw work. And then if you think about it, he fought 2 Southpaws in a row. Zane and now Dempsey McKean. Now he's going to go into another fight with another Southpaw. So that's good preparation, you know what I'm saying, in a sense. And I know Zhang is not Usyk, but you know what I'm saying, Zhang punching too. So it's still a good look. So if you look at all those things fall into play and you knew the behind the scenes shit, you wouldn't even say Fury's name. And Fury fighting in October. He fighting in 2 months from now. Bro, man, the IBF about to order that shit. Now, I guess they still can fight if Usyk vacates the IBF, but shit, Usyk don't seem like a type of guy that's gonna vacate shit. So I don't know. So I just want to throw that out there so everybody, y'all can probably chill with the Fury and Usyk fight. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that shit ain't gonna be next unless Usyk vacate the IBF. Bruce Gas in the building. What's good with you, bro? Salute. Big Texas in the building. What's good with you? Salute to you. Yep, Hrgovic. Yep, he's next. Yes, sir. The area below your hip considered low blow. I think they said anything below the navel, so it's what it is. I don't even think that's like a big issue, to be honest. But yeah, that's what it is though. But other than that, the 5th round, well, shit, nah. He dominated the 5th round to me too. We can go back and watch that shit too with anybody. I felt like when he got up, it was a lot of left hands down the pipes he was landing. And you know, I feel like Usyk is still slowing down, and he don't like those body shots for sure. But you gotta be consistent with it. You gotta be creative with it. I like how he threw it on the way out. That was nice because Usyk always moving and dipping to his left or to the right, but actually he be dipping to his right. So the way he threw that body shot on the way out, that was nice. So I guess people can look at that and kind of take that and run with it. We'll see. But overall, he dominated the fight though. So it is what it is with that. TJ in the building, what's good with you? Man laughing, he agree. The bar was never that dude. Yeah, he quit. Honestly, it is what it is. Nobody want to talk about that, but he sat on that knee. In the 8th round, I was like, bro, he gonna sit on that knee, bro. All right, moving on. So we got a couple of club shows I want to touch on. This is Marv Nation. So Fernando Vargas Jr. he headlined. He went the full distance for the first time. So good work for him. You know what I'm saying? So he stayed undefeated now. 12-0, 11 knockouts. The younger Vargas, the middle one, he got a knockout victory. The rest of these fights is all knockouts, honestly. Nathan Rodriguez, all those guys got victories on this card, so that's what's up. Yo, I heard something about Fernando Vargas Jr. versus Josecito Lopez. Let's see what's up with that. That's a big step up for Vargas, but we'll see. But yeah, under the radar card. Here's another one, UFC Fight Pass. So Callum Walsh, he's a prospect in 154 pounds, southpaw Irishman. He stopped Juan Velasco. Well, Juan Velasco, no box, he quit. It was after the 4th round. It was like one-way action. He wasn't really doing nothing, but he didn't look hurt or anything. I don't know if he was injured. I didn't get that. But Count Wash, stays undefeated. He'll probably get another fight or two, what I'm saying, this year. He's a prospect, though. You know what I'm saying? They're pushing him over there on 360 Promotions. All right. Here's the next card. So this is Golden Boy. Golden Boy had a show yesterday, too. I don't know if everybody caught it. What stood out to me on the undercard, you had Yan Santana, the Dominican fighter. He had a nice first round knockout. That was nice. You know what I'm saying? I think he's 9-0, 9 knockouts now. So y'all tap in with him. Angel Acosta, former world champion. He fought Carlos, what's his name? Virago. They fought in a rematch. You know what I'm saying? It was a decent fight. You know what I'm saying? So Acosta picked up the victory. So he's looking for another world title fight, maybe 112 again. He was coming off a loss to Angelino Cordova. So that was a good victory for him. And then Camacho had a nice knockout victory as well in the co-main event. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to touch on Oscar Collazo. Yeah, it really wasn't close. Nah, for real. Chuck Simpson, nah, bro. He said, he burnt your parlay. Yeah, you can see that coming, though. What's up, Fizz Nunez in the building? Salute to you. He said he kind of watched. I think he's going downhill for sure. I think he's going downhill. I'm with that. Yeah, Trust Simpson, man. When I seen that matchup, I was like, bro, he got a tough ass fight ahead of him. But you can it's his lack of ring IQ lost the bread for you though, bro. Because all he had to do was box like he did the first round. Imagine him boxing like that for 4 rounds. I know it's boring, but shit. Get those rounds on your belt, and then eventually you're going to have to fight my man's fight anyway. Fight those fights when you got 4 rounds on your belt. I mean, ring IQ. So, to the main event, Oscar Collazo retains his title. He got a 6-round stoppage victory. My man retired on the stool, but this is actually a pretty good fight. It was some give and take. You know what I'm saying? I thought my man, what's his name, Gagon was doing well. He was both guys southpaws, but Collazo, I like his rhythm. I like his work rate. I like how you go to the body. And I don't know what the injury was. It's like a leg injury, but Collazo keeps his title. So we'll see what's next for him. He may have a mandatory to do. The Mexican fighter Luis, I think his name is Luis Castillo, southpaw. A real aggressive fighter. So we'll see. This is first title defense. So he 8-0, 8-0, 6 knockouts. So, and then in his division at 105, all the champions are busy. So he ain't gonna get a unification right now. But maybe fight his mandatory towards the end of the year. So we'll see. I like him though. I like Collazo. He can fight. You know what I'm saying? He said exactly. Yeah, bro. That ring IQ was trash to me. I felt like, bro, keep boxing. That dude, bro, he gonna make you fight his fight, but keep boxing for now. All right, the top ranked card: Anderson versus Rodenko. We're gonna touch on the whole card though. Suarez versus Vasquez. That was a good fight. That's Charlie Suarez, his debut with top rank. He's an Olympian as well. Man, that was a tough ass fight for your debut at top rank. Shit, he had to go through the fire, but he got the victory though. He fights at 130. Top rank got some good 130 fighters. Valdez he gonna need a fight. Conceição, you got Valdez, Conceição. We know Navarrete is a champ. We know that, but I'm talking about underneath. You got Andres Cortez. You got Abraham Nova. You got Moncho LeBron. So you got guys in that division that Suarez can do some work with. Maybe Andres Campos. No, Andres Cortez, my best. Maybe Cortez versus Suarez may be next. Maybe on one of those cards in November. We'll see. You had the welterweight, the Southpaw. That was a Southpaw that was sparring Bud at Camp for Spence. You know what I'm saying? He's solid. He's solid. He stopped Camp. No, he stopped him. It was a corner stoppage. Yo, bring him back to camp for the next fight for Spence. You know what I'm saying? Bring him back. He's solid. Abdullah Mason had a good performance. 6-0, easy money. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I think it's time for him to fight Eats, in my opinion. Step up the competition. it's no, waste of he ain't wasting his talent, but I think he can definitely move forward with the talent that he has. But we'll see. He had a tough guy in front of him that was taking all his work, but Mason dominated. Nico Ali Wash, he fought Fred from Barbershop Conversations. I mean, Nico Ali Wash, another, this is not his first suspect performance, but listen, I thought it was a draw, but they gave it to Fred though, so that's what's up, man. Like Nico, he kind of digressing, you know what I'm saying? I think like the what you call it? That aura is off of him because they was overhyping him as Ali's son. I mean grandson. I get it, but at the end of the day, you gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? You got to improve in this game. Top Rank be cutting motherfuckers for less. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, he probably should have been gone for them maybe a couple of fights ago. But they keeping him around for off the strength of his grandpa's. But you know what I'm saying? He got all worked in this fight. He got outwitted by a guy that don't really got a lot of skills. You know what I'm saying? He just came to fight, and he was just outworking Ali Wash. I mean, he could have just stayed on the outside and box and walk him into some counter shots, but my man Fred got his ass. So he probably could get another fight. I can see them making the Troy Isley fight with him since he beat Ali Wash, but we'll see though. Man, listen, I seen guys get cut for less fighting on Top Rank. Dudes have a okay performance, and then they cut. And once you lose, you base it on the hot seat. You know what I'm saying? They cut a couple of guys in the past 2 weeks. They cut Stephen Shaw. He coming off 2 losses in a row. They cut Carlos Balderas, who lost to Nahir Albright. That's who Keyshawn fighting October. And then they cut Xavier Martinez. So damn. So they keeping Buddy around though for his grandpops. The next fight, Jeremiah Milton versus Craig Lewis. I mean, this shit was kind of sloppy in a way. I thought Milton could have set his shots up a little better and probably got the stoppage, but Craig Lewis is tough. Every time I see Milton, it's like he's digressing. I'm just keeping it a buck. Maybe it's because if you paid attention to his fights, each fight he moved up in weight. So I think when I first saw him, he was like 240. You know what I'm saying? He's been gradually climbing up the ladder in that aspect. He was like 255, and I think it goes with the performance. You know what I'm saying? Kind of they got like sparring partner mentality. So I don't know how far they can go. He on all these top ranked cards in Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? They're looking out for him, giving him that prime time spot, and he ain't really performing. And it's because his promoter, Tony Holden, got a good relationship with Bob Arum and them, so they throw him on the show. But shit, it's time to sink or swim. Especially, they got a bunch of heavyweights over there on Top Rank. So, yeah, bro. He said, I bet the over. Kalaza fight. 6.5. What did you get that? Was it over 6.5? Although he didn't even come out. No, actually, you good. Because, yeah, he quit in between rounds. Oh, yeah, yep. They are. Alright, so we got Shushu Carrington versus Contreras, you know what I'm saying? Good. I mean, Shushu was sharp in the fight. You know what I'm saying? I think he was complaining about the it's been wet in the ring and shit, so he had to navigate through that. But Shushu can fight too. I think, he can step these guys up now. Give them something. Some notable guys that we've seen fight before. Shushu can fight. I like his skill set. To the co-main, F.A. versus Kazabuski. Kazabuski was tripping, yo. You know what I'm saying? Low blows. He threw a knee up in there. He realized that he was in there with something different. You know what I'm saying? Instead of sitting over there fighting all these no-hopers in Germany and Kazakhstan, he got somebody in there that they can hit you with some shit and get you up out of there. F.A., he did what he's supposed to do. He was boxing, using the jab. He was trying to set up the right hand against the southpaw Kazabuski. He hurt him too. He hurt Kazabuski. And Kazabuski basically looked for a way out. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was. And he got disqualified for multiple low blows and shit. So this was an important win for F.A. because this is for the WBC silver title. So that can move him up in the top 5 Cause I think Kazabuski was like 7 or 8. So now FA can move up there. Cause look, this was coming. The WBC rescinded their order for Wilder versus Ruiz. So they're supposed to do something new. So maybe they'll do like a tournament type of situation with FA, or maybe FA can fight for eliminator. You know what I'm saying? So he put himself in that position. So yeah, that was crazy though. That was disappointing because I thought Kazabuski had a chance to win that fight. For real, I thought he was closing the gap pretty well, and he basically quit in your own way because he did that the last low blow he threw that shit thinking the referee wasn't gonna see it, like out of the, kind of slick throw it. Man, come on, bro. He wanted out that fight. So main event, Anderson versus Rudenko. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much went like I thought, honestly. Cause I thought Jared Anderson would get his knockout streak back going. He was going to the body like crazy. That's what you're supposed to do with a guy like that, older guy. Rudenko ain't never been stopped crazy, so he got stopped on his feet. But Anderson, he did, solid. I like when he came back quick. You know what I'm saying? I seen that he was blocking. Well, he's still pulling straight back, but he was having the left hand or right hand up, depending on what punch he was predicting to come back at him. He looked good. Honestly, the jab was straight. He athletic. He go to the body. He turns it on, like he really pick up the pace. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. That was a good performance coming back off the Charles Martin fight. And honestly, I think the Charles Martin fight was a better performance. I like when motherfuckers go through adversity and come through all that shit. I ain't like all these other fans want to turn them down and all this and putting people ahead of them. They'll do this to this kid right here that can fight, right? But the guy that they hyping up, he can't do no wrong. And he fighting lesser competition and he ain't even moving the same way. So I think Jared Anderson does have a shot in the world title or fighting these top guys. You know what I'm saying? So I see him next. I see him stepping up in competition. Maybe he can get that Heisman night. Maybe he can get that Heisman night date. You know what I'm saying? I heard him say something about coming back on Shakur's card in November. That's cool too. But maybe he get a big name for Heisman night. Because I don't think T.O. gonna fight on Heisman night. I think T.O. gonna rock with that Super Bowl date they got on February the 10th. So if T.O. taking that, normally Heisman night is for T.O. If he taking that in February, they're gonna need somebody to fill in the gap. Shakur come back in November. Keyshawn will probably be on that card. I can see Big Baby Anderson on that Heisman night card with a big name. You know what I'm saying? A bigger name. You know what I'm saying? And can headline that. That'd be dope. But I like him though. You know what I'm saying? He's straight to me. I don't see the uproar. I guess everybody was expecting him to run through people and all that shit, but us boxing fans, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm a big fan of FA. Yeah, I can see FA versus Osmanbek by Munaf, or we'll see what the WBC orders, because they're supposed to order some stuff. FA decent. T.O. not fighting till February. Oh, that's fire right there, bro. Yes, sir. Especially, it's so fire because they got the Mandalay Bay booked up for that day. Mandalay Bay is walking distance to Allegiant Stadium. We know the Super Bowl is at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. So you're gonna get that residual fans. It's gonna be fans all over the place. You know what I'm saying? For the Super Bowl week. So you get those residuals coming to the Mandalay Bay. Oh, it's perfect. That shit's fire. Yeah, wait till February. He good. He been out the ring longer than that. That's perfect. T.O. been talking about fighting pay-per-view, getting bread. This is the biggest way for him to get that bread. That's perfect. Maybe fight Jose Ramirez. I think Jose Ramirez is good. That'd be cool. Stack the undercard. Make the undercard nice. That's the way for him to get his bread because he been complaining about money. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just fire, bro. Change those emojis. For sure. Alright, we got a couple of topics real quick. So this ain't no surprise if y'all follow the channel and shit. Y'all know how we get down. We've been talking about this 2 weeks ago. Ain't nobody really surprised, but we just, we're gonna bring you the news again. recycle the news, I guess. Shakur Stevenson versus Frank Martin, for the vacant WBC title. So they came out and said they negotiating right now. They have a purse bid scheduled for September the 5th, which makes sense because we know Shakur's date is November the 16th. They're trying to tag team that shit with Formula One. So it makes sense. It's getting close to about 2 months from that. So yeah, go ahead and lock in the date, the venue, all that good shit. But I spoke on this shit before, man. It's really no surprise. I'm just, sitting back, chilling. You know what I'm saying? Watch my work do its work. You know what I'm saying? I put that in the chat. Y'all want to go back and check out the live I did about this 2 weeks ago. But it's a good fight. It's a fight that I've been looking forward to. I think, ever since I realized that Lomachenko won't go be next, I like this fight. Two southpaws going at it. We know Shakur is like probably one of the best southpaws we have. And we know what he brings to the table as skill set, defense, all that good shit. Frank Martin, I see, it's real interesting because although Frank Martin don't have like the experience like Shakur, but Frank Martin is explosive, athletic. So I think he can give Shakur some good bump maybe early until Shakur figure him out and start to break him down. Frank Martin has a tendency, if you watch his fights, except for the Michelle Rivera fight, he was in control of that fight from the first round. But some of his fights, it take him a minute to get into it. You know what I'm saying? To get his stuff together, and then he always finished the fight strong though. So it's interesting though. We know the backstory with both guys. Team Crawford and Team Spence. We already know that. I like the fight. You got a young, undefeated. You got 2 division world champion Shakur, who's trying to be 3 division, and you got a up and coming contender. He ain't come out of nowhere. Well, he kind of came out of nowhere off the hype of Spence. Let's be honest, because if Frank Martin wasn't connected with Spence, y'all won't be talking about him like that. But I get it. That's what's up. Good promotion. But he's talented too. He got some skills. He can fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's going to be enough for Shakur, so we'll see. Hopefully, I think it makes sense for them to make a deal and fight on the date that Shakur and them already have. I mean, Shakur already established as a main event guy on Top Rank. They fighting on the Formula One week, which is going to be a lot of people out there for that international type of thing. So you put that around that'd be dope. Get the residuals. Just like they're doing with the Super Bowl, fire emojis. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense to do it over there. Now, PBC, if we go to purse bid and win it, I mean, I think those guys. I know we talk. They get a lot of flack and shit, but they understand what this is right now. Frank Martin gotta go over there and fight on Top Rank and ESPN. It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense. So we'll see though. We'll see. I think we'll probably have a fight announcement probably next week. Honestly, next week or maybe closer to the date. I think this iron shit out, so it's good. It's a good fight though for the division, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Mess around, slide out there. Oh, yes sir, yeah. So yeah, if you check out that live later on. You everything I broke all that shit down in there like 2 weeks ago. Ain't no big surprise. When I see people hyped about it, I say welcome. Shit, tap in. My man Gregory Carmichael, what's good with you, bro? Salute to you. Yeah, can't wait to see this one. Yeah, it's gonna be a good stylistic matchup. You know what I'm saying? Some good shit. Alright, this one I haven't spoken about, but I like this shit. Tim Tszyu versus Brian Mendoza, October 15th. It's going to be October 14th for us. Showtime going to carry it live for us. Tim Tszyu, this will be his 3rd fight this year. He can elevate to the full WBO champion, facing Brian Mendoza, who is the WBC interim champion. So we'll see if they can elevate Brian Mendoza, but I don't think so. That might be for Bud and Spence when they fight in December, but that's another story. But this is a hell of a fight, though, because I was thinking Fundora had a rematch clause, and it was put out there that he was going to fight Mendoza on the undercard of Benavidez's next fight. So this is actually better. I ain't going to hold you. And I think It's actually, I think they should do this across the board. If you got interim champions and mandatories in the division, and the champion is tied up taking big fights and doing whatever, y'all should fight each other. Consolidate that shit so that way it's just one main contender. Well, I get it, sanctioned bodies and teams work. They work with promoters and all that bullshit. I get it, but this is a good fight though. Both guys, basically hot right now. You know, Tim Tszyu coming off of um, his 3 fights with PBC, because I know he did some good work before PBC, but he got Terrell Goucher. He got dropped in the first round of that fight, came back and dominated. They actually missed a knockdown that he should have got scored for him, but he dominated that fight. Then he got Tim Tszyu. He got Tim Tszyu versus Tony Harrison in March. A lot of people thought Tony Harrison was going to undress him like he did in his previous fight versus Sergio Garcia. But Tony went down there and got stopped in the 9th round. So that was a good victory for Tim Tszyu. And then he ran through Carlos Ocampo in 1 round. So both guys are trending up. Mendoza, since his loss to Jesus Ramos, Jesus Ramos' resume is starting to look better and better. Jesus Ramos got Mendoza on there recently in a recent fight. And he got Vladimir Hernandez, who just upset Trump. So, yeah. But back to Mendoza. So he got off-TV victory over Benjamin Whittaker. Stopped him. Then he stopped Jason Rosario. He took that fight on short notice, went up to 160 and stopped him. But, Rosario was kind of diminished at the time, but he still stopped him. I give him credit. And then he had that come from behind left hook knockout over Fundora, which is probably the upset of the year right now, or maybe in the running. Maybe Tapales over MJ is the upset of the year, but that's right up there though. And I think that happened on the same night too, April the 8th. Yeah. So Mendoza is on a good streak right now. He got with Ismael Salas, so he's gonna have a good chance in this fight. You know what I'm saying? He's more so of a boxer puncher, counter puncher, but we'll see if he be waiting too long. In the Fundora fight, I thought Fundora was in control. He was in control of that fight. He was aggressive. He was taking it to Mendoza, and Mendoza landed that left hook, and then it is what it is. So I like Tim Tszyu in the fight. I think Tim Tszyu is like approaching it. If he's not at his peak, he's definitely approaching it. He's in Australia. He got a lot of confidence. So does Mendoza. I just like Tim Tszyu's style. I like his consistent, being aggressive, and I like his patience as an aggressive fighter. I think he'll end up getting a late stoppage, but we'll see. It's a good fight, though. Good fight for the division. We got 2 good fights at 154 coming up. We got Jesus Ramos versus Erickson Lubin, and we got this one. And maybe the winner of Jesus Ramos and Lubin can get the winner of this. Look at the scheduling. It's only 2 weeks away. They're on the same schedule. You know what I'm saying? It's a good storyline, especially if Lubin can. He definitely has a chance to win that fight. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to get another opportunity. He came into the new WBO rankings recently, so And then Jesus Ramos got the storyline. He beat Mendoza already, and you can compare and contrast the victories if Tim Tszyu beat him. So good shit though. I like that. You know what I'm saying? They both won eliminators when they're supposed to fight all along. Mendoza won the interim title, so it really wasn't an eliminator. It was a interim, and same as Tim Tszyu, he won an interim. The only announcement we want to get is Frank got other plans. Yeah, you gonna like I told you. Hey, go listen to that live. I got you covered. You know how I be getting down with the news. Like I told you about Gamboa back in 2019 when nobody was talking about Gamboa and Tank. And you didn't believe me. And then Gamboa and Tank happened. Hey, stay tuned. There's nowhere for Frank Martin to go. Like you said, Tank, when the last time Tank fought a black fighter that we know of? We ain't talking about the first couple of fights of his career fighting in Baltimore and DC. We talk about a top contender black fighter. You don't believe Tank gonna fight that? You know what I'm saying? He fighting guys from Panama, Mexico, Dominican Republic. You don't believe it. So, hey, stay tuned. You know I'm coming back with receipts when I'm right. You know what I'm saying? He said, not me. He said, I've been riding with Zeus since Horn fight. I picked him to be home. Yeah, Tim Zeus been on a good run, bro. I was talking about Shakur and Frank, my fault. Yeah, they won eliminators. I mean, but the title is vacant now. They stripped Shakur. So, yeah, their last fights was eliminated. So Shakur is the mandatory. So he was going to fight for the title regardless next, whether it would be against Haney or vacant title. And then, Frank Martin won eliminator versus Artem. So, yeah. And then when they was looking for opponent for Shakur, they went down the line. Lomachenko was out. We know Pitbull Cruz not taking it. So that's why I touched on in that video. If you go back and watch it, I touched on that about how they switched Williams Zepeda with Frank Martin. Williams Zepeda was number 4 last month. They switched him with Frank Martin. So that was the strong indicator to me that the WBC was about to order Shakur versus Frank Martin. So that's what it is. Yes, sir, bro. You know I got you covered, bro. We gonna see. He don't got nowhere to go. 28 years old. He ain't gonna get the Tank fight. If it was the only thing that would stop him from taking Shakur fight if he had Tank, rightfully so. But he don't got Tank. He'll fight a year candidate. Same with Brian Mendoza can be there too. But I think that's already wrapped up. That's Buzz award. That's Buzz award. But yeah, it's good for those guys to be in the running though, for sure. Alright, my last one. So Jay Abataia versus Jason Thompson. So this fight was just announced. It's for the Cruiserweight IBF title, Ring Magazine. So it's been some kind of, I don't know, I ain't say shady, but Abataia been on the ring for a while. You know what I'm saying? I think he's the best cruiserweight. What he did to Maris Briedis. So he had 2 guys turn down the mandatory position. Richard Harapour and Maurice Massenet. They both turned it down. So he just signed with Matchroom. And then the IBF ordered him versus Briedis to run it back because he's the highest rated contender. But Briedis is out with an injury. So this is a voluntary fight for Abataia versus the 6'6" Jordan Thompson. Got some skills, can punch and shit, but I don't know if he's ready for this one. But I get it. They gave him an opportunity. But he can punch, though. I remember he was in training camps with Tyson Fury for the Wilder fights. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he can take care of himself. But Jay Abataia is a southpaw, good boxer, good puncher. You know, this is a welcome to Matchroom fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. So they just announced that. I just want to bring this to y'all attention. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. The Cruiserweight division is one of those divisions that is a European division. It can be a real good division if those guys are actually fighting each other, but we got 4 champions in that division, and they ain't unified. So we gotta get some unification for that, so we can really know who the best. I think it's Abataia. You got some new entries in this division. You know what I'm saying, that us over here in the U.S. are familiar with. You got Marcus Brown, who just came in number 4 in the new WBO rankings. He had a comeback fight on the last PBC show off TV versus Adrian Taylor. So he's, you know, a welcome addition to the mix. And then you got Zerlo versus Joe Smith Jr., who's going to fight at cruiserweight. I think it's a 190, 193 catchweight, but cruiserweight. So they fight on October the 7th. You know what I'm saying? So that's 3 big names. And according to this division, those are 3 big names. Marcus Brown, Zerlo Ramirez, and Joe Smith Jr. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how they mix and match. And plus they got Arslan Goulamirian. He's the WBA champion. You know, he been holding that belt for a minute. He supposed to get Tommy McCarthy. And then Chris Bell Smith and Lawrence Okoli supposed to run it back. You know what I'm saying? That shit was boring. But they supposed to run it back. And then Badu Jack. Badu Jack supposed to fight the Bridgerweight champion, Luka Rozansky. I'm waiting for that. That may be on the Fury. Maybe the Fury on the card. They haven't announced they on the card. I know that's skills challenge. It may be on the undercard of Wilder and AJ if they can go ahead and make that fight. So yeah, cruiserweight, you know, it can do some things. Definitely we need unification though, for sure. So yeah, that's what it is though. Feel free asking questions. I got you covered. Who you think Fundora will fight next? Juan Carlos Abregu. Juan Carlos Abregu. Boxing versus matchroom beef is serious. Nah, it is. Yeah, bro. Yeah, the former matchroom fighters, Coley, Rapport, and Chris Miller Smith with the boxer, and they signed Jay Abataya. It's like, yeah, it is some beef going on. Yeah, I get it. Emotional shit. But yeah, Fundora, Fundora should be back too, but I'm saying Juan Carlos Abrego, it ain't just throwing up names. It's based off the rankings. I know he lost to Charles Conwell. You know what I'm saying? He lost to Charles Conwell last year. They dropped him out the rankings. Then recently, they brought him back. I think he like number 13. So I'm basing it off of that. And plus, I guess that's a decent comeback fight for a guy coming off a loss. You want to see what he had. A knockout loss. That was a bad knockout loss. So, Juan Carlos Abrego. That's what I said. He been fighting that type of level of competition before he got knocked out. Other than Lubin, he been fighting that type of competition. If you go back and look at Fundora's resume, the Jorge Colas and shit, that's based on the same level as Abrego. So I'm gonna go with that. I know some of my matchups be unconventional because I be basing that shit off the rankings. And it's not probably the popular decision, you know what I'm saying? Because, we may pick the most, the popular fights. Like somebody might say, oh, he should fight Charles Conwell. He should fight, he should whatever. I'm like, nah. Or I heard somebody say Earl Spence. I'm like, shit, why Earl Spence will fight Fundora when he got a big money fight with Crawford right there? Even though he got washed in the first fight, he ain't gonna turn down that money. Shit. He ain't gonna turn down that bread to fight Fundora to campaign at 54. Those guys don't got that many fights left. Y'all keep thinking these fighters have been champions for years and years gonna move up and campaign in that division? Hell no. They gonna move up and have 1 or 2 fights and then they dipping out. You know what I'm saying? They'll get the biggest money for like Crawford. He only got like 2 fights left. I don't know why we want him to campaign. He stayed 47 and campaign and fight Stanionis, who was the first mandatory. Then he'll fight Boots. Then he gotta fight, bro. This dude ain't campaign to fight those dudes. He gonna get the biggest fights. So probably it's gonna be Spence. That's a big fight, regardless of what you say. It's a big fight because the money that they're gonna be guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? I hope Spence get back with Blu-ray. That way you can get more hype for the fight and shit. I don't think it's gonna matter, but I guess that'll help the promotion. You know what I'm saying? Go back to your old strength and conditioning coach. I guess get another. That will add a couple of pay-per-view buys and some interest right there. Shit, get all the hype up Spence. Tell him he had an off night. It wasn't him. You know what I'm saying? He moved up to 54. He's gonna be a much better, stronger fighter. It's a different fight. Hype it up, cause you know what I'm saying. Hype that shit up. He said, speaking of bad news, Conwell, what you think he's gonna do? What do you think they're gonna do with him in the WBC? I like the Sergey Bohachuk fight, bro. I do. I like the Sergey Bohachuk fight. 1 versus 2. I think it actually makes sense. We're seeing Bohachuk kind of struggle with that style too when he lost to Brandon Adams. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Adams and Conwell kind of similar in stature, but Conwell more tighter with his high guard and his guard. I like that fight, honestly. But we'll see where he signs to and what he's gonna do with his. I know he's a free agent now, but I like that fight. It makes sense to me. How much does promotion company come into your predictions? It does too. Depending on like cross promotional shit, it depends on that. Or like it can be somebody on PBC that I can see fighting another like a top ranked fighter. Like for example, if Frank Martin would have turned that, if he turned down the fight with Shakur, which I don't think he will, I could see De Los Santos going over the top rank no problem, even though he with PBC. Why? Because he don't have a profile. He can fight and shit, but he ain't gonna be like, he don't have no leverage to say, okay, let's say for hypothetical, his highest payday was 100K. He can't stand on this shit in negotiation and say, I want $2 million to fight Shakur. They'll give his ass a cool 300K and he coming over. He don't got no problem. It's a cheaper fight. So some cases when when I do my matchups, I'm like, okay, who is more expendable? You know what I'm saying? Now with promotion, it was kind of easy to line up if you pay attention to how they schedule their fights and stuff like that. Like Abraham Nova, to me, I feel like him versus Leon Wilson is next. You know what I'm saying? Nova came in number 3 in the new WBO rankings. Last month he wasn't ranked. You know what I'm saying? Leon Wilson, he fought last week. He's number 5. I feel like that makes more sense to me. You know what I'm saying? I know people talking about Cortez, but Cortez not ranked. So that tells me maybe Top Rank not fucking with Cortez like that. How Cortez not ranked and he is a top ranked fighter. He not in the WBO rankings as a top ranked fighter. So it's little stuff like that I'll be paying attention to. I've been saying the same thing. Yeah. Yes, sir. That's it. He about to say that Santos fight a bigger fight for him. Watch, I tell you. Oh man, I don't think so. I actually think Dallas. See, here go my matchmaking right here, Gregor Carmichael. I would give it to. I would say Dallas Santos should fight Artem, the one who Frank Martin just fought. And this is why I say this. So Artem gave a decent performance. You know what I'm saying? Came up short, got dropped in the last round. But after the loss, they normally drop guys, from their position. He's still number 9, I believe. And I think De Los Santos moved up to number 6. So they can fight the eliminator, especially when they fight for vacant titles. Peep game. They fighting for vacant titles, Shakur and Frank Martin. Lomachenko ain't going to fight him. Pitbull Cruz ain't going to fight him. Maybe Williams Zepeda say, maybe I'll fight for eliminator. But he's with Golden Boy, probably not. Then you got De Santos, number 6. He'll fight an eliminator. And I feel like if they can do an eliminator with Frank Martin and Artem, they just did it. Why they can't do it with De Santos and Artem? So that's how I be thinking, bro. You know what I'm saying? And Artem said he if you listen to his post fight, he said he want to fight in Vegas again. He don't mind that shit. So hey, that's just me. So we'll see what happens though. Boxing is tricky. He gonna sit down for the expand buffet. Yeah, nah, I don't think so, bro. They ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna do that shit. I'm trying to tell you. If he turn down this fight right here, and even if he go fight Tank, how far, like, that's it. I mean, I don't know. We'll see though. I think it's gonna be Shakur versus Frank Martin November 16th out there in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? To me, I feel like he almost have to take this fight. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. We'll see what's up. But yeah. So next week, I'm coming back later on today. We're gonna touch on the fight week for next week. It's kind of it's not really a big fight week, but it's some notable fights. Chris Eubank Jr. trying to get his revenge versus Liam Smith. Michaela Mayer is back. We got a couple of world title fights. We got some women. We got women's hot women's unification at 118 that everybody need to tap into. You know what I'm saying? You got Nolan versus Dorsland. That's a good ass fight right there. I think it's in Houston. I think that's where Keyshawn fighting at. Keyshawn on Jellybake's card. Shakur fighting in Vegas for that Formula 1 week. I'm trying to tell you. But Keyshawn and Albright and Jellyback unification. It's like outskirts of Houston. Rosenberg, some shit like that. They on that card. You may see somebody like Angelo Leo on that card. We ain't see him in a minute. Y'all stay tuned. But, yes, sir. Yeah. So I'm gonna touch on this fight week later on today. It ain't really too crazy. It might be a short video for the first and the second. So it should start picking up. Actually, the 15th and 16th, those gonna be two big fight days. The 15th, we got Luis Alberto Lopez versus Joet. Joet staking opportunities. This might be his last one. That undercard is nice with a lot of good prospects. Tiger Johnson on that card. Xander Zayas, he got a good fight on that card too. We got Ruben Villas on that card. Then the 16th, you got Williams Zepeda is back. We're talking about the lightweight division. I think his name is right up there in the mix. We'll see how the Golden Boy move him. You know what I'm saying? But he got Pacicio Jester that night. So yeah, about the schedule gonna get popping. I like Matchroom's schedule too. Matchroom got to fight the 15th as well. They got a card in Mexico. And Matchroom put out a couple of shows. Well, actually, a lot of shows. Some shows haven't been announced officially, but we'll probably hear something about it this week. Joe Cordina versus Edward Vasquez in Monte Carlo. You got Sev Nuganji. He's on that card. He's going to defend his title. That's November the 4th. So yeah, it's I like it though. I like when the promoters and the networks put out their schedule. Like it's dope. You know what I'm saying? I like the fight with Hitchens and Zepeda. Jose Zepeda. That's a good fight. Looking forward to that. The card is pretty decent. McCaskill versus Sandy Ryan. Ammo versus Steve Rose. That's a good kind of step up fight type of. It's gonna put Ammo in a position to fight. It's gonna be an eliminator, an IBF eliminator. So maybe get him closer to a world title fight. So that's what it is, man. I want to salute everybody coming through the building. Feel free to check out the content, man. Continue to check it out. Set your notifications. I'm gonna drop this link back in the chat. It's the live that I did about Shakur versus Frank Martin 2 weeks ago. Feel free to tap into that shit, get some gems. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if I was tripping. Put it in the comment section. But it's pretty much playing out just the way I was talking about. But it is what it is. My man with the fire emojis. I appreciate you, bro, for sure. Alright. So, once again, I want to salute everybody coming through. That's my time, and I'm out.